Where's your husband? Oh, okay. I was like, so I just want to be clear. We had three groups in this cohort. We had a group that was with the center stage speakers. If you would just step forward, if you were in center stage speakers, this was the top tier program. They invested at the highest level possible. Please give them a round of applause. They will tell you their investment was scary last year, but I'm sure they'll promise you that they are not the same and they are worth the investment. And then if you all would step back, and my vocalized speaker mastery, folks, if you would step up, this is the second premium level program, which is also one of those gulps in the throat when you hear the investment, but they made it in themselves. And I just want to say I'm so proud of all of you. Congratulations again. And last but not least, this is the final and third group, and this was Speak and Write Your Message. Our next honoree, not honoree, graduate, Angela Williams. Okay, you take that. And we're going to scoot over this way a little bit. Oh, girl. I'll step out. And in every group, there is a character who is going to walk that dog. If you don't know what it means, ask her after. Last but not least, our final graduate of Speak and Write Your Message, Andrina Phillips. Walk that dog. All right, come on, we got to all the way over here. Like right here. I'll step out. Okay, you can stay. So then we'll have all the graduates come back on stage so we can do a group photo. Get your phones ready. We want you guys to post this. Yeah. Come on and fill in over here. I'm being right as much as I don't get. Tall people in the back. Tall people in the back. Tall people in the back. Come on in. Come on in. Come on, Carol. Adelina, you need to be in the front. Don't act like you short. You're not short. Y'all come close so we come close in. Yep. Is this good? Okay, hold on. So like look, scoot through one way. Okay, there we go. That's my pose. That's not just my girl. It's paparazzi. Oh yeah. All right, they're gonna turn their tassels on 3, 2, 1. Congratulations! Do we get to throw our hat up now? Feel free. Go right ahead. You got it. Long as it don't hit me in my head. Go right ahead. Long as it don't hit me. Go ahead. You're gonna exit this way. Y'all so boring. Y'all so huh? Oh, she said this way. Okay. Sheree, which way?
Mic working? Wonderful. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out here this afternoon. My name is Donald B. Tolson Sr., but I am also, not only am I the graduate of SpeakerCon, but I also run a community development organization called I Change Nations. Yeah. And what that is, it was founded by Dr. Clyde Rivers and Dr. William West. He is a special envoy to I Change Nations. So this afternoon, this evening, I'd like to make a special presentation to Dr. Cheryl Wood.
I'm not gonna cry. I got lashes on. I'm not gonna cry.
Promotes civility around the world. So I'm going to read and
Oh.
give it to you. Right. I Change Nations Donald D. Tolson Sr. Global Life of Impact Award is presented to Dr. Cheryl Wood. The I Change Nations family and organization is aware of your tireless efforts to better the lives of others. Your willingness to sacrifice your time and resources creates a positive impact as well as a shift in society.
Mm.
Your outpouring of service to humanity
Mm.
lifts
So
spirits,
trying to cry.
provides optimism and inspiration. Many have benefited from your dedication and consistency. Your work is laying a foundation that we can all be proud of. We believe that the fruits of your efforts will stand the test of time and influence future generations. Therefore, it gives us great honor to bestow upon you the I Change Nations Donald D. Tosin Senior Global Life of Impact Award. It is signed by the founder, Dr. Clyde Gilbert,
Wow.
Dr. Ruben West, and myself.
Wow.
Issued in the United States of America on November the 2nd, 2025. And the medallion that I've got. Now, Eric is also a member of the I Change Nations family.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you. Got lashes on. Right. Right, I need a Q-tip. Sheree, do we have the medals for them? Do we have the medals for them? The medals?
This is a
Oh.
medallion. Now, let me tell you about this. This is
What is
Guinness World Leaders
No.
throughout the world.
It's not gonna. I'll hold it. Wow.
Thank you. And
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, it's one thing to do what you love, and that's priceless, but to get honored and recognized by the people I love. Like when I tell you we become family, it is real. Like you could talk about it, but you got to experience it. And we are family. So I know something about every one of these women and men and their journey. And sometimes I'm a little hard on them, but it's only because I want the best for them. And I know the impact that they're destined to make in the world. So this means everything. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you, Donald. Thank you. Yes. I think this way. Cherie, exit this way. So, yes, you can just get each one of them. Okay. And we'll start with the next part of the program. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. Oh, good. You got this right. Whew. Okay. Ready? Okay, and before we move into the next part, which is going to be our storytelling competition, I have one additional segment of amazing individuals that I want to honor. And these are, I'm recognizing them as my GSU my GSU distinguished alumni. If you would please come over to the stage, look in the book, your face is in there. Can we confirm that we have everybody? I don't want them to see yet. Oh, okay. I just want to confirm that we have everybody. Sit this way. Mhm. Okay. So we should have Olympia Boardley, Deborah Bell Campbell, Erica Lane, Dr. Constance Craig Mason, Dr. Emma Norfleet, Tanya Pritchett, and Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. All right, I think we have them all. Hmm? I don't think so. I don't know if I have enough for them. Do we? You gave everybody one of it? I didn't give nobody. Oh, yeah, yeah. So I hope you got space in your suitcase. I wanted to present them with something extra special. So these individuals went through graduation last year. They walked across the stage. But we become such a family and they learned so much that they chose to continue investing in themselves and they came back and they invested again in the GSU opportunity. So initially they went through GSU program, one of the programs that we just honored this cohort with, and then we created another level for them to have the option to continue working with me and growing and connecting with the GSU family. And these are the ladies who said yes to their ongoing, continued growth and development. Because you are never done. Don't ever stop learning and growing. So this recognition says, Global Speakers University 2023 in recognition of commitment to exceptional leadership and communication awarded to, insert your name, we celebrate your exemplary model of commitment to peak performance, extraordinary leadership, and effective communication. First, we'd like to call up Erica Lane. Give it up, y'all, for Erica Lane. Okay, we're going to take a picture. Mwah. Cherie, you gonna bring me the mic again? Who, girl, save my feet, girl. Right here. Okay, I'm gonna step out.
Oh, it's good now, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, this one right here just has a piece of my heart forever. Dr. Emma Norfleet.
Thank you. I love you.
Okay, come no this way. Okay, wait. Hold on, let me put the mic in this hand. There we go. I'll step out. You know, stand there and take yours by yourself.
Big smile.
Yes. Congratulations. Next, this one is like a lifer. And her sister have a relationship very, very similar to me and my sister. And they're out of Baltimore. Baltimore? I am recognizing Dr. Constance Craig Mason.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Oh, I gotta put this in this hand. I'll step out. Ah! Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Oh, okay, I got you. Next up, another lifer came on board, has just blossomed and continues to blossom and grow. Tanya Y. Pritchett. Come on, y'all, clap louder. Come on. Congratulations. Wow. All right. Step up. Yep, this way. All right. I'll step out. We call Dr. Corey last. Congratulations. Next, ain't heavy, is it? None other than the Olympia R. Bordley. Come on, y'all, clap it up. Congratulations, thank you. Okay, we're gonna step over this way. I'm gonna give it to you. Okay, step over this way. Okay, I'll step out. Congratulations. And next, you know, she keeps telling us that she's an introvert, but baby, by the time GSU finished with you, you an introverted extrovert. Give it up for Deborah Bell Campbell.
Thank you.
There you go. All right, we're gonna come over this way. Okay. I'll step out. You said. And last but not least, and I absolutely had to save her for last because we've been together for a minute and she just has my heart. I adore her. I love her. I'm gonna call her the captain of the lifers for GSU because she's always like, all right, Dr. Cheryl, create something else so I can come back. That's literally her saying. She's like, go learn some more stuff so you can come so I can sign up for the next thing. So she's been with me, I mean, soaring to the heights, just wrapped up her own conference for how many years? Look here. Third year. How many book anthology projects? Eight book anthology projects, and she just getting started. So give it up for Dr. Karen Hill Truden. All right, we'll step up a little bit and over this way. There we go. Now I'm gonna step out. You get your own. Sure. And you can stay, and if everybody will come back for a group photo. All right, get your cameras out, get your phones out, and then we're gonna go right into the competition. So if you're a contestant, please get ready. Make sure you're ready to come to the stage. Perfect. My stamp. Renee. I gotta find a new pose.
You do. You gotta find a new pose. Okay, wait. Well, just okay. Come on.
All right, big smiles, big smiles.
Um.
What? Are we uneven?
Oh, okay. We got it. We got it. Okay. We got it.
Give it up for the GSU alumni. Congratulations.
Hold on. Right off the ground.
Okay.
We know. You know we're gonna come through.
Can we have the other
Oh my God.
Board it down, ain't it?
Bay, I hope we got some space in the car for all these awards.
Need help?
Oh, what?
Need this microphone? This one?
Okay, this works.
From the GSU alumni group and friends. There's some friends that you know who you are, you can stand on the side of the stage or come up here with us. We just have a short presentation, just short, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Uh, we have a number of things that we want to offer to you, things that you love. Number one,
Uh-oh.
a spa package in
Oh,
Columbia.
thank you, Jesus.
Number two, dinner for two.
Hey! Okay, I got more excited about the dinner than the spa.
At your favorite steak place. Number three, a six-pack of mini Coca-Cola. Number four, we have a package that's from Crude Boy Wine. Here, the only black winery
Yes.
in Maryland.
Yes.
Number four, a medallion.
Hey!
Global leader.
Wow. Oh my goodness. So awesome.
As she soars around the world and the globe and doing wonderful things for women of all races, colors, creeds, globally, presented to Dr. Cheryl Wood.
Thank you so much. Wow. So overwhelmed.
When you've been around long, you know what to do.
Okay.
You know what
Well,
you like.
let me say thank you.
All right.
I just want to thank you all so much. I really am so overwhelmed because I am the giver and I'm always acknowledging people. And I always say, I don't think anybody really thinks that I'm special. Sometimes I feel that way. I know it sounds odd, but that's why they say check on your strong friends. Tell people that mean something to you, tell them. Because life be gut punching us just like it be gut punching you. And sometimes the devil try to sneak in and make you think less of yourself than you really are. So I love y'all dearly, and this just it touches my heart. Thank you to everybody in my other group for the recognition. Thank y'all for the Coca-Colas. Ain't no Coke in this hotel. Thank you. Y'all answered my prayer. I love y'all so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. Coca-Cola, the spot.
No, we love you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Whew, okay. Whew. Thank you. Whew.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Mhm.
Thank you. Give it up for Malcolm Reed.
Girl, I'm just so overwhelmed.
Y'all got her.
Whew.
Y'all give it up again for my twin power, Dr. Cheryl Wood. Y'all got her good, y'all. keep clapping, y'all. She deserves it. Keep clapping.
Pictures. Okay. I'll take these eyelashes off. All right. I'm really excited about this next segment. And I want to make sure we have our judges in the building. If you're a judge, is it possible that they can all sit at this table? That would be Malcolm Reed, Dr. Eric Holmes, and Dr. Pam Perry. And if they each need one of these, thank you. One, here's one, two. Oh, and we need a fourth person to judge in case there's a tie. Ooh, no, somebody's not qualified. Dr. Karen. That's my turn. We have 3 judges, but we need a 4th silent judge,
Okay,
just in case there has to be a tiebreaker. The
Okay.
4th silent judge's scores would be the,
okay,
so if you can,
Alright.
so it's, they can get 5
okay,
points in each category for a total of 35 points,
okay,
and they're in order.
okay.
Shree, you have to explain to them that they can get up to 5 points in each category. Okay, I apologize again that we're running a little bit behind. We're gonna try to move this thing on. So we decided this year to have a storytelling competition. And so what's gonna happen, we have 12 contestants who each will have exactly 3 minutes to share a story with you. And each of them are going to be judged in 7 categories that I would know if I hadn't handed the sheet over to my sister. So Dr. Cherie, can you show me one of those sheets? I'm so sorry. We're gonna get it together, y'all. We're gonna all the crying and the emotions. Thank you. So the categories are, just so you're aware, storytelling skills, the skill of storytelling. Number 2 category, audience engagement. The 3rd category, stage presence, how they make use of the stage. Number 4, vocal variety. We talked about that earlier today. Number 5, body language. Number 6, authenticity. And number 7, timing. Those are the 7 categories. Our 3 judges will be judging them from 1 to 5 in each of the categories, which means they can get a maximum of 35 points. Whoever wins and gets the highest point, they will be recognized as our winners, actually the top 3. But we will have one number 1 winner, first place winner, and whoever that winner is, not only will they get our trophy for first place winner and bragging rights of being the storytelling champion of the year, but they are also going to get an individual strategy and coaching session with myself. That is valued at $1,500 for the coaching and strategy session, okay? And that strategy session can be used for whatever they want to work on, either speaking, it could be writing their first book, or a book anthology project, or whatever they want to focus on in terms of the growth in their own business, okay? So what we're going to do is we will call them up one at a time. Who is my, oh, so we're giving them that set for each person? Okay, wonderful. So for those who are contestants, please take a look to the back wall. That is your timer. It will be set for 3 minutes for each contestant. The timer will start on a countdown the moment you start speaking. Now, here's what I want to make sure, because that clock, sometimes it does does the countdown, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Is it doing that? Yeah, so that's going to be confusing. I don't want to give anybody more time than they're supposed to have. So can we just have somebody to time them manually? Somebody who's extremely, extremely time oriented, because y'all know I'm a stickler for time, which is why I'm like, wait. Okay, so let's change that. Don't worry about the clock, because the clock has a countdown, and we want to include another countdown. Well, you need to come to the front of the room. Come on, whoever's it, and you need to be sitting like right here in the front. So everybody, this is Tanya. Wave, Tanya. Tanya is your official timekeeper. Are y'all overriding my judgment? No. No, I agree. So if someone's willing to give up a seat in the front, could you please switch? Thank you. Come up, what you say?
I don't know. Maybe.
Why? Okay, I can't go over the judging criteria again, because the judges already have their forms. We're not going to repeat that again. We're going to just keep moving, okay? So just know you want them to do the best that they can, to stay within timing, to be authentically who they are. They're going to be judged on that timing, storytelling skills, stage presence, and all the other stuff I read, okay? All right, so what are you going to give them? You're going to give them a 1. You're going to hold up a 1. She's going to hold up a 1 when you have 1 minute left. 1 minute left means you've already used 2 minutes of your 3 minutes. that means you should start to wrap up, right? Because that means you only have 60 seconds left. And then when you hold up this, that means you have 10 seconds left. You got that? So you're going to have to put your phone on the table when it's, okay. So 1 means what? How much time? And this means what? Okay. At 10 seconds, I'm going to be watching her, or either my sister is, whichever one of us, and we're going to start coming up. If we start walking onto the stage, you have gone out of your time. You can technically be disqualified for not honoring the time. Okay? So once you do the 10, are we going to hear an alarm or something that'll go off? Can y'all tell this the first time we did this too? Okay, anyway. It's a whole lot of firsts here. SpeakerCon this year, the 5th annual SpeakerCon. Come on, thank you. Just saying. We figure it out. Figure it out. So basically, I want to figure out how do we let them know they're out of time. Yeah, that's kind of low, but is that fine? We'll give you a microphone. That's a whole lot. She's doing the 10 and the 1 and the microphone and how about this? How about this, Tanya? Or okay, you're gonna do the out of time. This means you're out. That means 0. Get your butt off the stage. Y'all see that? Or else we about to come up. No, I'm just kidding. Baltimore folk. All right, are my contestants ready?
Give me a chance to mic each one. That way
Oh, do you want to stand here? You gonna stand here? Or you want them to come back to you?
no, yeah, come to me.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so just so you know, each contestant, they know who they are and what order they're coming in. They already know that because we decided that on one of our calls prior to then. So what you're gonna do is,
you're gonna go to the table where you see me. You're gonna get mic'd
well,
up.
you're not at the table, you up here.
Oh no, I'm gonna be where you've seen me all day before right now. I'm gonna be back there. I'll give you a mic. When you finish, please walk straight back to me so I can take the mic off of you and give it to the next speaker.
So does number 1 already have their mic?
Not yet.
Okay, so number 1 is Nicole King Campbell. So she's getting mic'd up now. Whoever number 2 is, please go to the back now, which is Trudy Knockless.
You're gonna have a chair for the person to video? Oh, okay, thank you. No, you said that every person
No, I
would
know,
have.
but I'm just saying, who's video? Just don't go up on stage. So we're gonna have 1 chair for anybody who has a family or friend that you want to video
Number 2.
for them. Everybody.
Mic is live.
Yeah,
Mic is live. So,
person who are,
number 2.
this is that. So raise your hand, gentlemen in the front. Sir, 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 sir. Raise your hand. Wave everybody up to you. Okay, don't let your family member, friend, loved one in this. Let them record you. As soon as he leaves, when this is after done, you come to the.
Where do I get it?
Everybody good?
Come back the same way I
You
came
gotta make
from?
some noise.
Where you want? Right?
Always test the mic before you go up. Okay? All right, so our first contestant coming to the stage, give it up for Nicole King Campbell.
And it doesn't start till we get on the stage, right? Very fun. Because it's,
Asking to clarify?
yeah, because we're gonna be walking up, so
No,
it's not
no,
gonna
no, I
stop.
got you, sis.
Okay.
No, we went over this on the call. We
Everything's
don't be
going.
talking about family business out here in these streets. So their time starts once they start speaking. If we do not count you walking up on the stage, no. When you get to that middle, the moment you open your mouth, the timer will start. Got it? We're gonna do it again. Ready? Our first contestant, Nicole King Campbell.
How many of you have a good friend? Raise your hand. Someone who would do anything for you. You have that friend? Well, I'm going to tell you about a friend, an experience we had 18 years ago this week. I was 9 months pregnant. We went to Bethesda. I was living in Fort Washington, Maryland. So you could imagine that ride up to Bethesda. It was really bumpy. I got to the hospital because I had gone into some contractions. I got to the hospital. They said, "You're not ready. Go back home." So we went all the way back to Fort Washington. My husband, he decided there was going to be a baby born that day. So he wanted to be prepared. He decided he was going to go get some gas. My friend, Deirdre, she was watching my 2.5-year-old baby downstairs. As soon as my husband went to go get the gas, I had this desire to go to the bathroom, right? I go, it's not. My water is breaking. I hear at the same time him drive down the driveway. And then I hear from the downstairs the sound of Lion King. I can't sing it, but I hear it. Nobody could hear me. And I'm lying down on the floor. My husband comes back and finds me there. And he's like, babe, we gotta go to the hospital. So he calls his father. His father's a doctor. He's like, most definitely you need to go to the hospital. That he couldn't get me to move, so he called 911. 911, two MTs come in and see me lying on the floor. And you know what my first thought was? I'm really ashy. They're gonna have a story to tell. So they took me down 13 stairs. I know because they couldn't get the stretcher to take me down. So I had to walk those 13 stairs inside my house and 13 more outside. We get to the hospital. My good friend Deirdre takes my daughter to another friend in the village. And she decides she's going to show up at the hospital just to check on how we're doing. At that point, they decide they can't do a natural birth. We're going to do a C-section. So they look and say, who's going into the operating room with her? He says nothing. He's in the room. And I said, she's going to go. She had no idea that was on her heart for that day. But as we're in that room, she is looking in my eyes. She is holding my hand as my daughter is born. That's a very good friend. We're still friends to this day. Thank you very, very much for your time. I got you followed.
So after each contestant, we will give the judges just a minute to enter their voice.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
So maybe
Following
you
instructions.
have some cool music in the.
Sorry. Went the wrong way.
The mic is hot. Good.
Judges, are you ready? Okay, great. Next, our next contestant coming to the stage, give it up for Trudy Knocklin.
How many of you have a playlist for your road trips? Quite a few. How many of you have a longer playlist for your long road trips? Okay, so I only have one song on my road trip playlist. And even on my 4-hour drive to Maryland on Tuesday, that one song was on repeat. That song is Carrie Underwood's Jesus, Take the Wheel. Why that one song? Because I'm continually giving thanks to Jesus for that one time he literally took the wheel. It was a Sunday evening. I was on my way back to New York from Massachusetts. I had taken my daughter to a modeling training. She was seated in the front passenger seat. I was playing music, vibing, and singing on top of my voice like I always do on my road trips. Ladies, you know the vibe. Suddenly, I started sneezing uncontrollably. It happens every time the season changes. My initial response was to cover my nose and mouth with my hand, but I must have closed my eyes subconsciously When I regained my composure, I had gone too far over into the left lane and had almost hit the big commercial truck to the left of me. So I swerved right to avoid hitting the truck. What I didn't realize at the time was that the power that I usually use to turn the steering wheel of my SUV, I did not need that power to turn the steering wheel of the Toyota Corolla I had rented. So I swerved too far right and almost hit the car next to me. So I swerved back left. This time, same thing happened. Too much power, too far left, and I hit the truck this time. My instinctive reaction was to use my right hand to push my daughter back into her seat so she wouldn't go flying into the dashboard. My hand caught the cup of juice she was drinking. The top fell off, juice spilled everywhere, and in the midst of that, I began to panic and I lost control of the vehicle. The car swerved left again, hit the truck this time, and that impact sent my car spinning in the middle of a busy highway. It was a 4-lane highway. I was in the second lane from the left. And I thought that was it. I looked around me, cars were just going, going, going. I didn't see any way to get to the left or the right of the highway. And I thought this was it. I gave up. I threw my hands up in the air and I said, Jesus, because I thought I would not make it over. But within a few moments, I was over on the hard shoulder of the busy highway. I had no idea how I had managed to cross 2 busy highway lanes to make it to the right hard shoulder. I couldn't remember putting my hands back on the steering wheel, but there I was, safe. And that's when I realized Jesus had taken the wheel. And today, I pray that prayer over every area of my life. Jesus, take the wheel. Thank you. Thank you.
We will give our judges 1 minute.
Yeah, so go over there, put number three's on the next. Oh, yeah, sure.
We are moving on to contestant number 3. We're going to the stage, Angela Underwood.
How many of you enjoy vacations besides me? Raise your hand. Well, it was a Friday evening. I was sitting on my patio, and it was really sunny outside, and I was enjoying my last few hours of vacation. I was also babysitting my 4-year-old grandson. As I was laying there, I heard a voice say, Mom, I need a ride to work. I'm thinking no one's calling my name. I am on vacation. I am relaxing. And again, I heard the voice say, Mom, I need a ride to work. It was my 17-year-old son. So I grabbed my grandson and we go to the car and we were waiting for my son to arrive. He finally comes to the car. And so I start to take him to work, but we ran into a little traffic. I decided to take another route. The street that I drove down was a very narrow 2-way street. And as I was driving, I suddenly heard a loud crash. I looked over at my son, and there in the seat with him was a side mirror from a pickup truck. I quickly pulled over to assess the situation. I got out of my car, and there was a pickup truck missing a mirror on the side. I looked around, and there was no one on the street, absolutely no one. So I quickly walked back to my car, and I got in. I got in my car, I grabbed my purse, I took out a pen and a small sheet of paper. I wrote my name, my phone number, and a little note to say, I'm sorry I hit your car. I got out of my car to place the note on the windshield of the truck, and as I was placing the note, an older gentleman was walking down the street. He said, what happened? I told him that I mistakenly, accidentally hit this truck. He said, what? You hit this truck and you're leaving a note on the windshield? I said, yes, I'm leaving a note. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. No one's around and you're leaving a note. Yes, sir. And so I continue on after that conversation. I continue to take my son to work. Later in the evening, when my daughter came to pick up my grandson, he ran over to her really quickly and started to whisper in her ear. And he told my daughter the entire story of what happened. Someone is watching you. Thank you.
With our judges, 1 minute for judging.
Thank you.
Judges, are we ready? Okay. Next contestant coming to the stage. Give it up for Deshelle Spencer.
Great.
It's a terrific Thursday. Some of you may know that I have 3 decades in the financial sector. I'm a 2-time best-selling author, and I help thousands regain their financial dignity and rebuild their credit. But what you don't know about me is I'm from Baltimore, the #1 crime capital, poverty-driven city, and I escaped. I remember it just like yesterday. In 2016, sweat was rolling down my face. My feet was hurting. My back was tired. See, I've been walking for 60 days. 60 days on that strike line without a paycheck. 60 days with no money. When we finally got the call to go back to work, I was, because this girl right here, she needed her paycheck. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Anybody need that paycheck? All right. Now let me tell you, when I got up that morning to go to work, I was looking everywhere. I was getting my change together because I said I had no money. When I looked outside, I had to look to the right, to the left. See, I'm scared. I'm scared to go outside. I walk outside anyway. Still walking, I'm scared. I'm saying, Lord, please don't let them find my car. Not today. Please don't let them have taken my car. I need my car. I said, Lord, how in the heck did me? How did I get in this financial mess? Anybody ever had a financial mess? Y'all know what I'm talking about? I get to the door. I look at the mailbox, green letters, white letters, red letters. I don't want to open them. I don't want to face bill. Kids answer the phone. I say, I'm not home. I don't even know who on the phone. Because see, Mr. Bill was coming for me. He was coming for me with everything he had. But what Mr. Bill didn't know is I took him by his neck. I jumped on him. I stomped him down. And I regained my financial dignity. And if I can do it, you can do it too. Put your hand on your chest. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I need you to say, I will have financial wealth. Now go get the money. Go get the money. Go get the money. Go get the money. Go get the money.
state. Is it, do they have to do they have to turn it on or
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
Is that really that belongs to the property of people?
it wasn't real money, was it?
Our next contestant, make sure we get silent, everybody ready? Our next contestant coming to the stage, give it up for Dee McGee.
Do you know who you are? I thought I knew who I was in 1990 when I received my bachelor's degree. The 1990 census was taking place, and President Nelson Mandela had just been released from prison after 27 years. I was ready to take on the world. But little did I know, my world was about to turn upside down. Fast forward to 1991, there was an economic recession going on. Jobs were scarce, and I couldn't find my dream position. March 1st came, and I turned 23. Happy birthday to me. And then May came, and then the end of May came, and it was Memorial Day weekend. And the next thing I know, I'm rushing my mother to the hospital. She was diagnosed with colon cancer, and I'm devastated. By June 14th, she had succumbed to cancer, and I just wanted to crawl up in a ball. I was motherless and jobless. What was I going to do? And I heard a voice say, "Get up, Dee Dee. Stand up, rise up, and be strong. You're going to make it." And I did feel strong for a little while, but then I learned a big secret had came out that she had taken to the grave with her. I wasn't her biological daughter. I was adopted. What? Huh? How could it be for 23 years? Next thing I know, I'm on a search, a quest to find out who I am. I found my biological mother by Labor Day that year. She said she didn't want to be an unwed mother. She said my father was this tall, tall man headed for pro ball, and he had died in a car accident the same year I was born. Next thing I know, I'm going through life, taking care of my adoptive father. He dies, and then I decide I'm going to do a DNA test, and I wanted to find more of my paternal history. And I do that test, and the results come back, and it's a totally different man. And he is alive, not dead, like my birth mother had said. What? Huh? God, why? Why is all this happening to me? He said, "Why not you, daughter? Why?" He said, "You are fearfully and wonderfully made." He said, "You have the capacity to help people turn trials into triumphs, to become victors and not victims. And it's your birthright to be here." And so I look at all of you in the audience, and if you've had trials and tribulations, and if you don't know who you are, I want you to never, ever stop looking for the best version of you.
I'm just gonna hit it. Let me make sure. And if it's not, it should be a good.
So on time.
You want to do this beat one time?
You want that?
Okay. Go. Okay, we're going to keep this thing moving.
I'm gonna go over there with that.
Next is adding coming to the stage. Give it up for Kim Wade.
You know, sometimes there's a situation that occurs that is so profound that it literally changes the way you see life. Has that ever happened for anybody? Yes. Well, it happened for me when my father died. You see, a few years before that, at 12, my mother died. Then at 16, my father died. Now, that was over 40 years ago, but I still remember it just like it was yesterday. I remember sitting in the church. It was hot, stuffy, and packed with people, most of them I didn't even know. I remember the song that the choir sang, God will take care of you. Now, I didn't realize it at the time, but that was God speaking to my very spirit. I remember sitting there, just lost in my thoughts, wondering and worrying, who's going to take care of me? What's going to happen to me? Well, the service is over and we go back to the house. And the house is packed. People everywhere. People in the kitchen, in the living room, in the dining room, down the stairs. People, folding chairs in the hall. It's just packed. And all the teenagers are in the basement. While we're in the basement, we're dancing and singing, playing cards, drinking, getting drunk. Yes. And I was feeling pretty good considering I had just left my daddy's funeral. Well, I pass out, and when I wake up, it's dark, everybody's gone. I am on the couch with a blanket. Well, I go back to sleep, and the sun is just glaring through the blinds, and it wakes me up. So I sit up, and it's like an inferno of pain just came over me. I was hot and sweating. My chest was tight. I could barely breathe. I was crying uncontrollably. And it was in that moment, at 16 years old, that I learned a life lesson that drugs and alcohol may make you feel good for a minute, but when it wears off, life just comes crashing back in. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. It's already over. Okay.
Set popcorn.
Just need a few more minutes. That's a thumbs up, Jonas? Okay. Next, coming to the stage, our next contestant, give it up for Katrina Coleman.
Have you ever felt way down from the demands of life by a show of hands? Yeah, me too. I remember it was like yesterday in 2021, trying to recuperate after the daggone pandemic, just going through what had really happened.
terminated from my good government job, okay? Having to enlist into virtual school for a kindergartner and a first grader, keeping them on a computer all day. Could you imagine? Not to mention being a wife and a mom, having to do the laundry and cook and clean, and let's not talk about intimacy. And get down to business, right? Because we're expected of all those things. I remember I needed my place of rest. And so I drove to my place. I went to church. You see, I went there for one thing, but in going there for one thing, God showed me another. He allowed me to see this beautiful monarch butterfly, and I do mean beautiful. It was orange and black, and it had white dots. But when I came close, it appeared lifeless. And I felt like in that moment I could see myself. I felt exhausted. And I could see this exhausted butterfly, and I was like, I gotta give it a helping hand. So I reached for a piece of paper and I scooped it up, and I went outside and I see flowers there. And you won't believe this. I put it next to the flowers and it begins to eat the nectar. Afterwards, it flies away. And I remember in that moment a beautiful lesson. There's beauty in surrenderance. And sometimes you just need rest. And sometimes you just need nourishment. And sometimes you're getting help from a hand that you didn't expect. Look to your neighbor for me and speak life. Let them know you may be tired. You may need rest, but you will fly again.
Thank you, baby. 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 Thank you, babies. Thank you.
Down to our final five, final five. Keep the energy high, you guys have done a great job. Do our judges need any more time? Okay, we're ready. Our next contestant coming to the stage, give it up for Donald D. Tolson Sr.
Have you ever felt inadequate about your limitations? The year was 1974, and the radio was on. This is WJMI 99.7 on the FM dial. The hit makers, the Jackson 5, had just scored another all-time #1 hit single with Dancing Machine. She's a dancing, 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 dun, dun, dun. She's a dancing machine. The year was 1974. Dun, 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 dun. Breaking news. President Richard Nixon had just been indicted as the 37th president of the United States. The year was 1974. But for an 8-year-old, sitting in Mrs. Brown's third grade class, the year it had an entirely different meaning. You see, on this particular day, every student was given the assignment to stand in front of their peers and to deliver a presentation. Now, during recess, this young man, he went to his teacher, Mrs. Brown, and he begged and he pleaded with her. He said, "Please, Mrs. Brown, don't put me in front of the class." She said, "Why not?" He said, "Because I stutter, and they all are going to laugh at me." She said, "Nonsense." After recess, this young man, he went back to the classroom, and as Mrs. Brown called his name, his hands began to perspire. and his heart began to race. And as he walked toward the front of the class, he heard one of his peers say, "Hey, there goes the stutterer." So as he sat there in front of the class and he stood there and he said, I, 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 and just as he predicted, the entire class erupted into laughter. He ran from the classroom. Mrs. Brown, she came after him and she found him sitting on the stairs. He said, "Why did you make me do this?" She said, "Because Donald, I believe in you." Thank you. Thank you.
What is the language?
That good?
Picked up the stutter, that's a kid.
Huh?
Where is it
You
coming
picked up the stutter,
from?
that's a kid.
I know, but I saw the one coming up and had a minute back.
Oh, okay, that's all.
There you go. Okay, I'll put this right there in front of you. There you go. Right, you good.
About 17 more times. Our judges ready? Our next contestant coming to the stage, give it up for Lucille Brennan.
Have you ever wondered how people keep the romance, spiciness, and passion in their marriage as time goes on? I have too. But guess what? After 38 years of marriage under my belt, I've discovered the secret sauce to it. You maintain your marriage the same way you do your savings and investment accounts. Check this out. Years ago, my husband took our 10-year-old son to practice with a new baseball team. And when I got off of work, I decided to drive by there and see if practice was still going on. I spotted my husband at the fence with a group of dads. I rolled up and stopped in front of the group and I rolled my window down. And I said, "Hey, Donnie, I thought that was you, looking all handsome and sexy. What you doing up here?" And he said, "My son is at practice." I said, "Okay, where's your wife?" And he said, "I don't know, I think she's at home." I said, "Well, you still got my number?" He said, "I think so." I said, "Well, call me sometime so we could do a little something, something." I licked my lips nice and slow. And I gave him a look that said, "I love you like a fat kid loves cake." Uh-uh. I drove off and looked in that rearview mirror, and those dads were looking at him like, "Dude, what you got going on?" They were relieved to find out that I was his wife. So just like we have to be intentional about making deposits consistently in our savings and investment accounts to get growth, that's the same way we have to do with our spouse's emotional bank account in order to have growth. Because how many of y'all know life be lifing? Yeah, yeah. And we had some negative interactions that have caused some withdrawals. I had put my family, my friends, my children, my job in front of my husband. But I had to get back to what was important. So I affirmed him that day in a fun way. It didn't take but a few minutes. I lifted him up. Now he affirms me too. But we were able to get back on track, keep making those consistent deposits. I want you to commit today to making consistent deposits in the life
of your loved ones, whether it be a spouse, a family member, or friends. Thank you.
Mine came up at 5 minutes, so I don't know. I'm 10. I'm number 10. What number?
You're right after that young lady. Okay, are our judges ready? Awesome. Down to our final three. Next, coming to the stage, give love for our next contestant, Savannah Dickerson.
Startled by a low moaning growl. Immediately, I was on my feet, scanning my sheepfold, looking for the sound. There was a large brown creature in front of me, pawing at my sheepfold and my one ewe lamb. I had my sling in my hand, and then it growled at me because I said, "Hey, get away from my sheep." And then I'm spinning that sling around and around and around. I needed to have the strike against the stone, against that bear, quickly. But I didn't lose my concentration as I reached into my pouch. Then I spun it around and I was waiting. Now I said in my mind, and I released that stone. It struck the bear in its left eye, and down the creature went. The battle was won, and I was a hero again. My sheep were saved. I bet in those moments you've had your own bears that you've had to face. And I bet in those moments you had a silent prayer that you said in those moments. I said my silent prayer. That is your smooth stone that you have that is in the sling of your folded hands that you can strike and send out at any time and any moment. So when you are facing your own bears, send up a silent prayer and you'll be the own hero of your own story. The end.
Savannah? Savannah? Something like that? No?
Okay. Last one. So I just get hooked up. Okay, thank you.
Like you live now. Just you fine. Just,
Oh.
just
I just live.
All right, final two. Next, coming to the stage, contestant Vida Figueroa Clark.
Last year, around this time,
I lost my mom. And not just any mom, the best mom, the coolest mom, that kind of mom that all your friends wish it was their mom. She had this really amazing way of being OCD and still cool. Like strict, but still fun. And she was my ride and die. She was my ace boucoon. We did everything together. We dove with some dolphins in Hawaii, went parasailing in Antigua. We even went salsa dancing together. Yes, I went clubbing with my mom. And when I got married, she was right there. She taught me all the tricks and tips, everything from breastfeeding to diaper rash, making a quick meal, and keeping that bedroom hot. And then she died. And I promise you, I thought I died too. My once very colorful world became gray, dark. Getting up was impossible. And just about 2 months ago, I was putting on my lipstick and I smiled. First time I really smiled with joy. And I remembered she taught me how to put on this lipstick. And I remembered she taught me how to be a mom and how to be a wife. She taught me how to serve and how to lead, how to receive and how to give. She taught me who I am today. She taught her children and her grandchildren, her co-workers and her colleagues. She taught and she taught because she loved. She loved from the depths of her heart. And because of that, she lives. She lives inside of me. And she left a legacy of love. So live your life so you can leave a legacy of love. Thank you. Stop.
Okay, you know.
Thank you. I know. Whew, right? Right? Thank you. It's right. Oh, boo-boos. That was a trigger. I'm sorry. Do our judges need more time? No? All right, let's reset and give our undivided attention to our final contestant of the night. Coming to the stage, Terry Riley.
Have you ever had anyone sling hurtful words at you and you receive them as the truth of who you are? Let me tell you a story about a little girl who was blessed with a radiant spirit and an innate talent for style, but she was bullied and teased because of her dark complexion.
She was told she was ugly. She was called names such as Blackie and Tar Baby. She was often told to stay out of the sun. She was already black enough. Or that she shouldn't wear bright colors like yellows and reds because they didn't look right on her dark skin. As she grew up, she began to internalize these cruel words that had been hurled at her like daggers. And the light within her slowly began to dim. She believed she was ugly and unworthy. She had boyfriends, but she thought she was the lucky one. She was lied to, cheated on, verbally, emotionally, even physically abused. But she stayed because she did not know her worth or her value. By God. One day, after she'd been hurt yet once again, sitting alone in her apartment in the stillness with tears streaming down her face, she felt a gentle presence and she heard, "You are beautiful and you are enough. You are fearfully and wonderfully made." And that was her turning point. This young woman began her transformation from the inside out. And she began to express her self-love through the art of fashion. Clothes became her canvas, and she dressed herself in vibrant colors and bold patterns that were the truth of her. And with each outfit she put together, her confidence blossomed like a radiant flower. And she realized that her journey to self-love was a message that needed to be shared. And she turned her pain into power. And she became an image and style consultant, not just for fashion, but for self-worth, because she wants to empower all women to understand their worth and their value and that they are uniquely beautiful, created in His image. That little girl is me, standing before you tonight in her true identity, created in the image of God, a masterpiece. Thank you.
Congrats, and I'll give them your.
Can we give it up for all 12 contestants? Can all 12 contestants please come to the stage so we can give you your adequate honor for stepping up and saying yes to being vulnerable? Come on, don't act like y'all tired. Go on up there on the stage. Go to the stage, please. Go on the stage, everybody. All 12 contestants. Please go up on the stage. Yes, we're gonna do some photos of you guys.
I can have my seat back in the front.
Yes, yes, thank you. Okay, so what you want to do is if you are in the back and we can't, you got to make sure we can see your face. Are y'all listening? Everybody, so you can put your face in between. There you go. There you go. Okay, good, good. We can't see you. You need to come a little bit over. Yeah. Okay, is that good? Do they need to be closer, y'all? Photographers? Y'all clap it up for them while they're getting their photos.
Mhm. Congratulations to each and every one of you. You are already winners. Is there anybody else in the room who actually entered the competition, even though you didn't make it to the top 12? If you would stand up. Anybody else in the room who entered the competition? Can we please give a round of applause for all of these amazing people? Yeah, no, because we gotta do the judging. So what we're gonna do at this time is we'll have you guys to take your seats because we have to give the judges time to calculate and then we'll come back and give the final winners. Cherie's gonna handle that when they're done with their scoring. And while we're waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and jump into just a mini session on storytelling while we're waiting for and as soon as the judges come back, we'll announce the winners. We'll wrap up so you guys can get some rest for tonight so you can be here bright and early tomorrow morning. Is that good? Okay. So the power of stories. Did you see it? And you could feel it for those who really tapped into their emotions. The thing that you always want to do and remember when you're doing storytelling is that it is your job to take the audience back to the moment that happened as if they were there. It is to create a visual so that, like some of our contestants did, their emotion becomes your emotion. And that only happens when you are intentional in going back to the moment. And that's what stories are, they're moments in our lives. You go back to the moment, which means you have to be willing to relive the moment. It is not just tell a story. Are you willing to relive it? To dig up the emotions all over again and to be vulnerable in sharing the emotion. That's why you have to be very selective in which stories you choose. And what some storytellers and speakers struggle with, number one, is many speakers are technical speakers. And they're typically on one end of the scope. They're technical without the storytelling, or they're all storytelling, which becomes a little fluffy without the technical. So there has to be a beautiful dance between the two. So when you are sharing your story, I want to give you these 7 things, 7 tips on how to be a great and impactful storyteller. Number 1, know your audience. That means you have to ask questions. If you're invited to come into any group to share, I don't care what the speech is, what the topic is, what your subject matter expertise is, stories are mandatory, not optional. And that means you have to ask questions so that your stories are appropriate for the audience that you're serving. So I'll give a prime example. I used to frequently tell the story of losing my father. My father passed away on Thanksgiving Day. That was the first call I got that morning in 2009. My father was 59. He passed away of a massive heart attack in his sleep. So on a day that was supposed to be joyful and joyous, the first call was, Cheryl, your dad's gone. And I have to know that if I'm going to share that story, I have to know who that's going to make an impact on. So if I'm in a room like this and it's entrepreneurs and I know a little bit about the demographic, then I can be making a point. Because remember earlier we said you never tell a story without making a point, and you never make a point without telling a story. So if I'm in a room like this and I'm working to create a sense of urgency within you to make your life count today, then I might share that story. Because we don't expect to be gone at 59. For those of you in this room, that would likely make an impact because most of us in the room are of a certain age. We're more seasoned in life. And at this age, me and my sister will be 50 at the end of this year. Child, 59 looking real young. It don't sound as old as it used to. the closer you get to the number. You be like, oh, that's young. But my teenagers, they tell me otherwise. So I could share that story about creating a sense of urgency, about utilizing every breath in your body, every moment that you get an opportunity to, because your tomorrow is not promised. But I could go into a room of young people and the story wouldn't land the same. Why wouldn't the story land the same? Young people think they're invincible. They ain't gonna die. That's why you can't go to a young person talking about some getting some life insurance. What? Like I say, what? They don't get it. They're living life on the edge. Like, think about some of the stuff you did when you were young. You be like, I didn't even realize the danger I was putting myself in. You're a bit oblivious. So I couldn't take that same story and utilize it in a room full of young people because it wouldn't make the same impact. Because they're going to think, oh, he was 59. It was his time anyway. He was old. That's what they're going to think. So I either have to choose a different story if I want to create a sense of urgency about utilizing everything in you now. Today, I've got to choose a different story. That's why you have the stories journal, so that you can catalog your stories. So you're never guessing and trying to figure out what a story is. They're cataloged in your journal. So when I start to think now, there's a new experience in my life. My nephew, Jordan. Jordan was 20. Jordan was going into his junior year at Morgan State University. Jordan was not only an academic scholar who was on the dean's list and at Morgan State University on a full ride scholarship, but Jordan was an athletic scholar, starting wide receiver for the Morgan State Bears. That story I could take into a group of young people, especially if I add on the screen a picture of Jordan, because Jordan was the life of the party. Jordan was everything. Jordan had the NFL already looking at him. He was winning every race across the country, track and field, at the start of everything, and died tragically in a motorcycle crash. Now, when you put that story to the picture of Jordan at 20 years young, it makes a different impact for that same group of youth. Does that make sense? So know your audience. And the best way to know your audience is to ask the questions of the person who's hiring you. The meeting planner, the event planner, just ask the questions. Who's going to be in the room? Tell me a little bit more about the demographic. What's the age? If you're going in to speak for a corporation, okay, is this a diverse group? Diverse in terms of gender? Diverse in terms of nationality, race? Diverse in terms of knowledge level? Are they C-suite executives or are they support staff? Makes a difference. The stories that you share. So ask the questions and get clarity on exactly who's going to be in the room. Number 2, think about the goal of each story. What is the takeaway I want them to gain from this story? Why am I choosing this story to connect to this point? And is it going to make the greatest impact, or can I find another story that will make a greater impact? Always have a goal. We don't just tell stories because we want to tell people more about our business. In fact, most of us in the African American community are taught what? Oh, we don't tell our business. We keep our business to ourselves. We keep what happened in this household what? Stay in this household. So you've got to be willing to think about the goal of every story that you choose to share. What's the end game? What do I want them thinking? What do I want them feeling after they hear this story? And if it doesn't click and it doesn't make the connection that you want, just choose another story. Thus, the catalog of stories. Number 3, choose the right time and the right place to insert the story. This is important, especially when you are doing perhaps a 30-minute or 45-minute or even a 60-minute speech. You've got to know where and when to insert certain stories. So there's one rule that we follow as speakers in the speaker industry, and that is if you're going to share a traumatic story with me, you might not want to share that at the very beginning because you're trying to stir up a certain energy in the room, and it's usually not a solemn energy, but also don't share it at the end. Because your goal as entrepreneurs who are sharing your voice is to leave people more hopeful, feeling empowered and inspired. Doesn't matter what you're talking about, whether it's financing, whether it's moving to the C-suite, whether it's health and wellness, whether it's writing their first book. It doesn't matter what you're speaking on. Your goal is the same as it relates to how you leave them feeling. They should feel more inspired. They should feel like it's possible for them. Okay, you know what? I feel like I can. Someone earlier talked about being in this space and feeling like, oh my God, seeing you on stage makes me feel like I can. I talked about this story with Doreen Rainey. Seeing her execute her women's conference made me feel like I can. So at the end, it's always about making people feel more hopeful. So if you have a very traumatic story, you always want to give yourself enough time, once you take them in the low parts of that story, to pull them out of the low parts of the story. So if you do that at the end, what happens is you've taken people into a low place, and you don't have time to bring them out. Now the room is down. I witnessed this firsthand. I went to an event. The speaker was phenomenal. She was phenomenal. But she just kept hitting us with sad story after sad story after sad story. And you could feel how heavy the room was because she never brought us out of it. Everything was heavy. You cannot put too much heavy on any one room. You can't even handle your own heavy. How you expect them to handle your heavy? So you've got to pick and choose, and that's why we say stop word vomiting on people. You're trying to tell them every challenge you've had in your life in a 45-minute time frame. And sometimes they feel just like, I don't even know what to do. Even after the event that I'm mentioning, afterwards, everybody went and we got drinks. It was like, oh. I mean, literally, you remember Cherie? Cherie, do you remember the event? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was, and she has, I mean, potential to be an amazing, phenomenal speaker, but she has not connected the dots between taking them low and keeping them low versus pulling them back up. So very, very important that you know where to place the story. Second thing is don't keep them in a low too long. So 3 minutes, you saw it executed beautifully on the stage. A story in 3 minutes. A 5-minute story is long-winded. But you can give me 3. Get to the point, share some characters, take me back to where you were, the moment, and then get me out of the story. And here's another important part about the story. Yes, you have the right to share emotions, but write this down, controlled emotion. And what I mean by controlled emotion is you do not want to still be stuck heavily in the pain of the thing you're sharing, so much so that you cannot regroup and continue without the audience still being stuck in your pain. So imagine if someone comes to the stage, they share a traumatic story, and they're just like, and you ever heard somebody like crying and they can't talk? And they can't, and girl, you got people from the stage bringing you tissues up to the stage, I mean from the audience bringing you tissue to the stage, and you can't get yourself together, and you like, DJ, can you play some music till she get herself together? And it's just a hot mess. And then you get yourself together and you wipe your tears and you be like, whew. Okay, so bullet point number 4, a ham sandwich? Shoot, girl, I'm still crying. Can't move to no bullet point number 4.
And you ready to move on with the speech, the rest of the bullet points, and they can't handle it. The room is still stuck in your pain when you finally get yourself together. So just be aware. Be aware of how deep you take them in the pain. Be aware of having time to bring them out of the pain, and always leave it hopeful. How are we looking? Okay, great. Let me give you these last three, and then we'll announce the winners. Number 4, be clear and concise in your storytelling. Clear and concise. And clear and concise means get to the point, be direct. What do they say? Cut away the fat and just leave the meat. You don't have to tell me the whole story. And as I was skipping down the street, oh my gosh, just tell me what happened. Because then it will become a source of irritation for the audience. Have y'all ever heard somebody tell a story and you're like, ugh, did she tell us what happened yet? She ain't tell, did she tell us what happened? And you keep waking up because you done took a miniature nap and they're still telling the story because they didn't get to the point. Be clear, be concise, be direct. Only tell me what I need to know and have to know to make the story important. Leave all the rest. Number 5, we saw this displayed beautifully in the competition today. Be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Number 6, practice the story. Practice, especially when you're on a timer. Even if it's not 3 minutes, if it's a 45-minute speech, you should know how many stories you're going to develop in the 45 minutes. If you have 5 talking points, are you going to have 5 stories? If so, how long is the talking point going to be, each talking point versus each story? Because if I have 5 talking points and I'm going to spend 3 minutes on each talking point giving you a deep dive, and then I'm going to spend 3 minutes in a story for each, how much time have I already used? 5 talking points, 30 minutes. And if I only have 45, I've got to know what else am I doing with that time. Do I want to spend that much time on talking points and stories? Do I want to peel it back some? Do I want to have maybe, okay, I got these 4 talking points. I'm going to take a deep dive. I'm going to give each one 5 minutes, and then I'm going to do a 2-minute story for each. Like, you get to play around with it until you hit that sweet spot. And you also have to make sure that you incorporate a great opening, a magnetic opening that gets the audience involved. One of the best things you can do in the opening of a presentation is get the audience involved. Why? It's not just because we want to say, and everybody raise their hand. I know you hear that a lot, right? Like, raise your hand if you've ever experienced struggle. Raise your hand. Play along. We don't do that just because it's in the handbook of speaking. We do that because what happens is if you engage and you raise your hand, you are talking back to us, which turns the speech into a conversation, a dialogue. So it's a way of getting the room involved versus feeling like you're about to give them a 45-minute lecture. Now, the audience becomes your friend. And it's important that the audience is your friend because there might be times where you lose your place in your speech. There's something that maybe you were on one track and you got off track and you forgot and you're like, oh my God, okay, wait, what was I saying? And guess what happens if you make the audience your friend from the beginning? I'd be like, Lord, y'all, I done got off track. Dr. Cheryl, y'all know I'm about to be 50 this year, right? Where was I at? What number? Guess what they're gonna do? Number 3, Dr. Cheryl. Okay, number 3. Well, that helped, but that only helped a little bit. What did I say number 3 was? I forgot. Oh, let me see. Oh, Dr. Cheryl, it was choose the right time. They're gonna yell out. Ask me how I know, because it's happened. So when you make them your friend from the get-go versus you're the lofty keynote speaker who no one can help. You don't need anyone's help. And you're above the audience, and I'm here because I'm the guru and the expert. No, that gets you nowhere. You patting yourself on the back in the back of the room, in the green room, instead of connecting with the people in the room. So just pay attention to those things. And last but not least, time the story. And that's a part of your practice and prep. Are y'all ready for the winners? Ooh, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous.
That she won. Based on the number 4? Based on the 4? Yep. Thank you. Wow, okay. Why I'm nervous like I'm in the competition? All right, so first of all, can we ask our judges to stand and thank them so much? And our number 4 judge, Dr. Karen. We chose these 4 because they all are in the realm of public speaking. They have expertise public speaking. Don't sit down yet. Dr. Pam Perry of Speakers Magazine. You all got a copy of that today. Malcolm Reed of Pro Global Organization, and he is a beast on the microphone. You heard a little bit from him today. And he was being nice because he was sharing the mic with other people, but don't give him the mic because I'm just telling you, get to know him. And Dr. Eric Holmes, also a guru, speaker, preacher, author, and just an amazing human being. And y'all know my lifer, Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, GSU alumni, C-suite expert. If you're trying to go to that next level in your career, she is your woman. All right, thank you so much. So again, they were voting on or scoring based on 7 categories, which we read out. Do y'all need to hear the categories again, or y'all good? Okay, good. And what we did, and thank you to Donald for recommending this when we were on the call, because I was like, well, suppose we have a tie, and Donald has been a Toastmaster longer than me. I just joined Toastmasters for the first time in May. I had never been to Toastmasters, had never been to a meeting. I joined for the first time in May, and then was inducted as president of the club in July. So now I'm the president of one of the local clubs. But Donald, who is a distinguished Toastmaster, was like, well, in Toastmasters, what we do is we have a 4th silent judge who judges, and they become the tiebreaker in case there's a tie. I was like, that's brilliant. That's exactly what we'll do. So these were our primary 3 judges, and then we had Dr. Karen as our 4th in case there was a tiebreaker, which, surprise, there was. So we actually had 2 people who tied. Oh, it's like so painful because it comes down to the top 3. Yeah. So again, can all contestants stand up and let's just give them a thunderous round of applause one more time. Louder, y'all, louder. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we will start with the 3rd place winner, and they get a trophy, and the trophy simply says 3rd place storytelling competition, SpeakerCon 2023. And you do get bragging rights still that you came in as 3rd place, yeah? And by the way, we started with 20. We started with 20 and narrowed down to the 12 who came to the stage. Whew. Drum roll, everybody. Give me a drum roll on the table. Coming in as our 3rd place winner, give it up for Katrina Coleman. Come on, y'all, keep it clapping, all the way. Come on, girl. Congratulations. You can stay right here on the stage. Our number 2 winner, Donald D. Tolson Sr. Come on, y'all, clap it up, clap it up. Congratulations. Woosah. And our number 1 first place storytelling champion of the year, who will get bragging rights as the winner, the number one for the full year, and will get a full 1 hour strategy and coaching session with me, valued at $1,500, and who will be walking all through these SpeakerCon streets for the rest of the next 2 days, probably carrying the microphone, the trophy around, is, drum roll, Mida Figueroa! I know. Give it up for y'all. Come on. This is the storytelling champion of the year. Yes! Give it up for y'all. Keep it going. Please go to the front. And Myra, if you would stand in the middle of the two first, we'll take with three, and then we'll just take Myra by herself. Come up to the front. How far do you need them up, guys? Anybody? Right there. Okay. Okay, now I want to get in, but don't get my feet.
No feet, no feet, no feet.
Okay, and then can we give each one of them their individual, so we can start with Katrina? Yes, but let's get each of one of you your own individual photo, please, with your trophy. Yes, yes. I did you well. I'm so glad I wasn't judging. They would have been like, that's not friendly. Congratulations, Donna. Congratulations. And our storytelling champ of the year. Okay, wait. Pull that. Proud of you.
Thank you so much.
This has been phenomenal. We got to do this every year. Like, this is a given. All right, I hope today has been powerful for you. We will meet back in this room tomorrow morning. Registration opens at 8:30, but doors open at 9.